I said, I want you to know today. I said, I tell me, ooh, I want to know today now. Ooh, said I tell me, ooh, I want to know right now. Ooh, tell me,
Well, we thank God for those announcements, for everything that's been done. And now you all got to help me welcome our pastor so we can sing happy birthday to her. Doesn't she look gorgeous? Okay, let's sing happy birthday. P.
Birthday to you. God has been good to me, has allowed me to live this long. To be honest, I never thought I'd live this long. To be honest, I really didn't want to. I thought, what all will happen? I remember when we had leased the other church, that I counted up the time that the lease would be up, which was 5 years. And I jumped up in the bed that morning. Charles was still here, and I said, honey, can you believe I'm going to be 50 in 5 years? He said, well, what's wrong? I said, what am I going to look like at 50? And he said, Rose, go to sleep. And so I'm thankful to God. I never, ever thought I would be here this long, but I'm grateful that I am. I was telling the Lord this morning, thank you for letting me be born Rose. I didn't have to be who I am today. And to be honest with you, I don't think I would have ever chosen to be in ministry. Number one, I couldn't talk because I stammered over everything. Kids laughed at me all the way through school. I know what I was doing, but I couldn't say it. Then when the Lord called me to the ministry, I haven't been stammering anymore. That's an honor. I said, Lord, nobody's going to hear somebody up here stuttering. And I saw one preacher some years ago in Oklahoma, and he was stammering, oh, so bad. And I was so tired when he was through preaching because I was trying to help him, like, I know what it feels like. And and he would beat his chest so hard, trying to get out a few words, and beat his stomach. And I'm sitting on the pew thinking, it's going to be all right. But I would never want to hear that because it makes you tired trying to help the person to get it out. So I'm thankful that you're here today. And I know that some way, somehow, you will hear something from God as only he can send it. If you have your Bibles, turn with me to St. Matthew. 16th chapter. Father, I thank you this morning for your blessings, for all that you've done. You've been better to me than I've ever been to myself. You love me enough to give me life. You love me enough, God, to give me abundant life. I pray for every person in this building. I pray that you would minister to their needs, and whatever it may be, that you would work it out. I pray for the police officer this week that lost his life and left a family. I pray, God, for that wife and those children, that you would comfort them and help them. I pray, God, only you can understand the grief of losing a person that you love and spent your life with. And I ask you to do a miracle today. I pray, God, that you would anoint your servant, for without you I can't do anything. With you I can do everything. I thank you for it today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. I'm at the 24th verse. It says, then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose it for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? I want to preach to you a little while this morning. As you look around the world, everybody is trying to substitute things and try to get through situations without really using what they need. We need God in our life now more than we ever needed him before. I'm telling you, the world is not getting better. It's getting more difficult. It's getting harder. There's so many things that's going on that we never seen some years ago. But as I looked at this, he said, now, what would you give in exchange for your soul? What would it profit you if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? There's no profit in it. See, sin never gives us profit. Serving God gives us profit. So as I looked at that, I thought to myself, we got so many unhappy people, so many depressed people, so many people that are just down and out. And then they go here and they go there looking for something to fulfill the void in their life. And let me tell you, if Jesus is not in there, you're going to have a void in your life. No matter what you do, how much you do, at the end of the day, you are going to have this void that belongs to God that you never gave it to him. We try to fill it with all kind of substitutes, all kind of things. But it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And we find that out over a period of time. When we keep trying to replace something again and again, we find out we really don't have it. I'm still got this feeling. What is this? It is a feeling inside of man that God has ordained that only he can feel that. And so if you as a person don't find that out soon in your life, it won't take very long before you look around and say, I've accomplished all these things. I went to college. I got my degree. I did this and I did that. I got a good job, got a nice home, got all this stuff. But what's missing inside? Because you can walk around and look at it, but I'm telling you, it is a void that only God can fill. Sometimes we look for it to happen with our husbands and our wives and our children. Sometimes we get greatly disappointed because you cannot control anybody else's life. Neither should you want to. But nobody in this whole world is going to give you full satisfaction but him. He fills it up to the point that there is nothing lacking there. And I feel happy. I feel excited about life. I feel like living. But God has to be the one who's there filling every part of your life. It's important. So he says, so what would you gain? I was thinking the other day, I was watching a little boy that was on Steve Harvey's show. You would have thought Michael Jackson came back from the dead. That's how exactly like him. And as I watched that, I thought, now, wait a minute. And everybody's giving him all these accolades. And I mean, he can play any instrument. You name it, he plays them all. I think he's only about 12, 13 years old. And I'm looking at the fact, do we stop for a minute and say, oh, I would like to be a Michael Jackson? How did it end, though? It was doing good. I mean, he had it all going on. But you got to ask yourself, what was the end of his life? We always get caught up. I got a message I want to preach on that. We better watch for the conclusion. How do people end their life? It's not how they live it. It's how it ends. And so if I want to be like somebody, how did it end for them? Because if you want to be like them, no doubt you'll have the same end. So I thought about him, and he was doing the moonwalk and all this stuff. And I mean, he was doing it exactly the way he did it. And everybody pushes him. The Jackson's family, they push them. Get out there, do this. You can do it. But nobody have looked at the fact, what does it give you? Chaka Khan was on TV one time, and she said, entertainment world is demonic. Now, she's part of it. She said, I'm going to tell you, it is demonic. For you to get wrapped up in this, it's more than what we think. We look at the lights, we look at the names, we look at all this and the publicity, and they're tired of it. Stars are dodging the paparazzi, trying not to be seen. Leave us alone. Leave my children alone. That's not a great life. I mean, people all around you and stuff going on. That's not a great life. When I was on TV a short time, don't want to ever be on there again. I went to Florida on vacation, and this lady come up to me. I was in a store, and she said, "Is that you, Rose?" And I said, "How do you know me?" Got real irritated. I don't know who this is. What, is that you? I don't know if I'm her. what is this? And she said, Rose, remember, when you shopped in Denver up there, I was out, one of the people that helped you. Well, I'm not going to remember you. But I felt a bit uncomfortable. But what really takes the cake, we go to this restaurant to eat. And this lady come out and said, oh my God! Rose, Sister Rose, Sister Rose. I'm thinking, she said, oh my God, my mom and my dad, they listen to you every Sunday. Oh, wait a minute, let me go get my mom and my dad. I'm sitting there like this. If this don't feel peculiar. I'm in Florida, I'm out of Colorado, and somebody down here is talking about me. Weird feeling. And I'm trying to understand, why would you want to be famous? Fame has a lot of issues with it. And I wasn't hardly famous like them. I just get known preaching a little bit on TV, which ain't very much. And so, but when you got these people running everywhere, all over the place, got to stop for a minute. I said, do I want my life under a microscope every day? Do I want somebody running me down and trying to get a picture or want an autograph? I think not. I'd like to have my life by myself. I like that privacy. As it is, as a pastor, you don't get 100%, but that's small in considering. So when you look around, start asking yourself, what you're going after is not going to be the answer. If you had all the money in the world, it's not going to be the answer. That's why I say if you gain the world and you lose your soul, what have you profited? So, I got everything. My name's in lights, got lots of money, got all this stuff. But at the end of the day, when your life comes to an end, my life comes to an end, then you got to stop and say, what do I have now? You better lay you up some treasures in heaven if you really want to go there. We build everything down here as if we're never going to leave. You're going to leave this world. Keep on living. One day is going to be your day. 1 month or 1 year is going to be yours. We live our lives as if I'm going to be here, so I just make plans for all these things, but you don't know when it's going to end. And if you have not made peace with God, oh, that's as bad as it gets. So if I gain the world, if I become these famous people with all this money, at the end of the day, you have nothing. I want to be, when I get to the end of my life, that when I stand before God, he's going to say, well done, Rose, thou good and faithful servant. I'd rather have that and live with less in this world than have all the world could give me, because there's nothing like hearing him say, well done. It's nothing like he knows who you are. He knows you by name. I'm serving the person that makes a difference in my life every day. I could have a difficult life every day, but because he is there, in spite of what things may go wrong, it doesn't change my happiness. It doesn't change my joy. He didn't owe me this. He's given me so much. I can think back when I was a miserable person, unhappy, depressed, sad, trying to understand what makes the world turn the way it does, trying to understand why people are separated from each other. Why do we have black over here and white over there and red and yellow here? What's wrong? Why do we have the rich and the poor? Why do we have the middle class? Why are people all divided up? I'm trying to understand this. I go to my grandmother and say, Grandma, why do we live like this but everybody else lives like that? She never said a word because she didn't know either. You look at all around, you think, this is a sad situation. I used to wonder, when I go to school, I was in elementary school at the time, and I always wondered why we were called the poor kids. I always said, well, what makes us the poor kids? Because you don't have enough. That's what makes you poor. And you get in school, and sometimes they call us to the office, and the kids would start laughing and say, those are the poor kids. Not a good feeling, because you don't know really what all poor really means at that time. But why are you laughing about it? It is a tragedy to live in this world and don't have some understanding of who God is. Don't have any understanding the value it is to give your life to him above everything else. You know what? We commit ourselves to people, to boyfriends, girlfriends, husband, and wives. And I believe in commitment. But I think your number one commitment needs to be God above everything. You tried to substitute it. I thought the other day, I was studying the damage that sugar does to the body. And I knew I needed to omit that from my diet altogether. I don't eat a lot of sugar, but I still need to omit it. And so I studied it. That's the most destructive thing you can put in your body, but nothing makes your palate feel better. So, oh my God, what is this? I mean, this is delicious. It's the pleasure that it gives you. So yeah, cook a cake, cook a pie. Do all these things. The more I looked into it, the more I realized my 73rd birthday, I'm cutting out sugar, but I already started. It's been over a week now. Feel better. Feel better. See things different. And I thought, does this make sense to you? Is that they say this is sugar-free, but it's still sweet? Does that make sense? Sugar-free, still sweet. That tells you, well, if you took out the regular sugar, what did you sweeten this with? Because it's not bitter. It's sweet. The more I looked at it and studied about it, I realized that all the sugar that they say is a substitute is killing you. It's worse than just regular sugar. And so when I looked at that, I thought, why didn't that hit my brain a long time ago? I guess I was having a great time. And so I didn't think about it. But all of a sudden, as you start getting older, you understand what I'm saying if you live this long, you start looking at things that you know that you don't want to have a part of your life. I said to my kids, I don't want to die sick. I want to die happy, excited, not sick. So I started looking at all these things and measuring them up, and I thought, wow. So my little grandson had a birthday. Cole had a birthday, he turned 17, and they came in with the cake and said, you want a piece? I said, no. And you know what? It's about making up your mind how you want to live, how you want to die. Because I don't want somebody carrying me out or bringing me in with my mouth twisted from over here to over there. Because I just keep putting in wrong things in my body. I changed a lot of things about eating because black people, for the most part, we eat everything. And you're going to put it in a deep fried, we fry everything. I didn't even know what it was to have a piece of baked chicken. A baked chicken? No. You have to have that crunch. You know, so we as a black people, we eat very bad. You're brought up that way. Now, maybe not all. In case somebody said that didn't apply to me, okay. Don't get hyper about it. So you did it right. But you start thinking about things. You look at life different. You understand that after you get so old, your time is running out. It's running out. How do you want to die? I don't want to die like that. I don't want to be laying up in some hospital with tubes running everywhere. I don't want that. Well, so then if I don't want that, what do I do to stop it? So then I start studying the thing that's doing more harm to me than good. But they told us that the sugar was substitute. And let it sit around a little bit, it gets real bitter. It's real bitter. So you got to ask yourself the question, well, how did you get this sweet? What is it? I listened to this doctor on the internet from China, and she said there was what they put in no-fat potato chips, no-fat this, no-fat that. She said they hid it when people started rejecting it because it wasn't good, what was in there. So what was in there was something called Olean. Is the worst stuff that you could put in your body. The worst. Nothing worse than that. So when they say fat-free, they substituted something. So the tongue will say, okay, I'll take another piece of that. Yeah, hey, get that to me. Long as we can get pleasure, we're driven more toward pleasure than we are toward God. That's why sex is crazy in the world. Everybody's looking for a good time. Everybody wants to have pleasure. I just feel like, I need somebody. You need God. You need God. Isn't it true? That we have overrated sex in our society till everybody believes until you go there. Whoa. Our teenagers are crazy. You know, sex is the thing. You know, I mean, everybody, you got old folks still looking for sex. You think you go home, get in your chair and forget it. It's a done deal. You got to understand you've been there, you've done that, now it's done. I can't believe it when I see some elderly people walking around looking like a young chick. You can't look like a young chick when you old. No matter how you look at it, you can't do it. It's going to show up somewhere. Don't put on your daughter's clothes or your granddaughter's clothes. Don't do that. We have to accept that life changes us. With time, you're going to change. What you have today ain't going to be the same a few years from now. Things are going to change for you. Thank God that you can hold on to a little something, but don't try to make a world out of it. Let's make an exchange. I think I need to, that's why they do have divorces. I need to exchange this woman for another one. It's not going to be much different. Sex is no matter who you have with it. Sister Rose, you must be on another planet. No, I'm on this planet. With you. We think we got to have this. I mean, what am I fit for? If I don't have a partner, if I don't have sex, what's going on here? Who was that? Somebody, some show we was watching, and this man came on, and he said, I've never had sex. Here's what everybody did. Are you on this earth? And I think he was like 30-something years old. He said, I've never had sex. What? They went on, and then they come back and said, you really telling the truth? How are you living? That's how big it's blowed up. All this way like that. You know what? And I've said this before. Sex is short-lived. You get married, you have sex, it's going to go good for a while. After a while, you'd rather have chicken. After a while, give me something else, child. And these people get married. The honeymoon is short. It's very short. And you've been all your life thinking, oh, my God, if I just had a man, if I just had him, you know, that would be what I'm looking for. I can tell you it has a limit. Don't try to keep on pushing it, baby, when you're old. Let it go. Go to sleep. I told my husband one night, I told Charles one night, I said, Charles said, you feel like having sex? I said, no. He looked back, I said, honey, why don't we just go to sleep? He said, yeah, let's go to sleep. I knew then I was getting old. Say, yeah, just go to sleep. Let it go. It's not all of that, even though it has its place. But we are so hooked to all these things that we think is going to make the difference in our life, but it is not. And after a while, I just don't know anymore. And after a while, he don't want you or you don't want him. We have more divorces in this country than anybody in the world. Always divorcing. Why? They trading in for something different. To only find out after a short period, if that's the way you're going to do it, you're going to have to trade again. See? But look at your life and say, what do I really need? It's good to have a husband. I had a great husband. It's good to have children. I had good children except for one or two. But for the most part, I can't be going through these changes and thinking all these things is going to make the difference in my life, because I can tell you now they are not going to. So you got to look at your life and say, what am I holding on to? One couple I counseled one time said, when the kids were gone, I said, what do we have left? They had nothing. Everything was around the kids. They never got to know each other. They never got to interact with each other. Everything was focused on the kids. Now the kids are gone. Now what do you have left? You don't have a relationship because you have never worked on it. So if we build a relationship with God, then everything is going to work. You're going to come out good. I don't care what nobody say. When you serve God, you come out good on the good end. See? So quit looking for substitutes. Well, I don't think it's really God. I don't really think it's church. You know, it's really not that. Yeah, it is. Well, I don't know why I'm having all these problems. God. This lady come in the prayer line one Sunday that I was praying for, and she said, Sister Rose, my life is in a mess. And I said, well, have you given God a chance in your life? No, not really. And then my boyfriend, I thought, there's a problem right there. There's the boyfriend. Almost every person I talk to or get in this line, when they're having issues, boyfriend. You know, we have a bad way of picking things that we call boyfriends that's not good. Not good. So people get engaged now for 10 years. What? You're not engaged? You know what that boils down to? We want sex for 10 years. Now, after that, I'm moving on. It don't take you 10 years to marry me. What's wrong with that picture? And you say he just keeps putting me off? He got everything for free. Why should he pay for it? Think about it. Why should he pay for it? It's free. If I had a fat cow on my porch that I could milk every day, I wouldn't go to King Super. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You can ask yourself the question, I'm just depressed. I'm not happy. Don't spend your whole life unhappy. Make up in your mind, I am going to be happy no matter what. And who guarantees you that is God. He guarantees it for you no matter what. And most of the time, we find ourselves going after the wrong people that we shouldn't go after. And we're dissatisfied. Nothing is worse than to be dissatisfied. Discontent with what's going on. I just don't feel up to it. I don't know what it is. People are depressed and don't even know why. I'm just down. I'm trying to get my life together. They keep doing it the wrong way. Don't gain a relationship over here, but don't build one with God. You got to have one with him. I believe that's what makes marriages work. I was married for 34 years, and I believe without God, it could have never happened. But when you put him at the center of your life, and he's the most important person, then you can build around that because it works. But if you try to put God out here and build your life, it's going to crumble. It's going to fall apart. You're going to find yourself depressed. You're going to find yourself saying, I thought this was it. I thought this was my Prince Charming. There are no Prince Charmings. Keep on living. No Prince Charming. These are just people. Take the prince off of it. Take the charm off. Because there's days he ain't going to charm you. Days you ain't going to charm him. I'm just not having a good day today. I don't feel like charming. Don't depend on it. Look to God, the author and the finisher of our faith, the one who makes life worth living. There's nobody in the world like him. Nobody. I would tell anybody that we want to hold on to as much delectable stuff as we possibly can. Things that make us feel good. And we get so caught up with that until we forget about God. Well, this makes me feel good. You know, when I go to the movie, it makes me feel good. But when you come out, how you feel? You may be mad at somebody on the screen. You'd like to hit them in the mouth, but you can't. All kind of these feelings of sadness and what have you. You need to put the real thing in your life. He's called God. He said, what are you going to gain? I mean, what do you profit? If you gain the entire world, you still going to be unhappy. You still will be sad. You still will say, something is missing in my life. And then when we try to tell you what it is, no, it ain't God. Yes, it is. It's God. I know because I tried to live it without him. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I was so depressed, so depressed. Why? I'm in Germany with my husband. My husband loves me. We got a few kids and should be happy pretty much so, but I wasn't. And it had nothing to do with my husband. It had nothing to do with my children. It's what was inside here wasn't being fed. You cannot feed your spirit on natural things. It only works with spiritual things. So if you try to feed it Popeyes and some bonbons, all it's going to do to you is make you real fat, and then you sitting down with gas, all messed up. All messed up. You don't put everything in there. It's a tragedy. And then we don't want to hear about God. People try to tell you about God, and you don't want to hear about him. But you should. You should. So when I look at that, I'm thinking, come on, let me help you. Let me take you to Jesus. He knows how to touch your life. He knows what to do. Give him a chance. You know what? We should never fight anything before we at least try it. At least try it. We don't want to try it. I just don't think that'll work for me. Try it. Have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried to have a relationship with God to see if it works? And I guarantee you this morning that it works. It works. We pass around things over here and over there, and that's why sometimes we just, when it comes to food, we just get to the place, we don't know what we want to eat because we done ate out. Yes, I don't know. No, I don't want that either. What do you? No, I don't want that. You want something else? No, you ain't hungry. Because I just spent so much of my time on things that don't profit. I got to move on. I got to have something that's going to make me happy every day, not sometimes, not an occasion, but every day. Godliness is profitable unto all things. It gives you the promise of life. It gives you a feeling of being connected. It gives you the feeling that I'm gaining something. I don't have to have a lot of money to be gaining something. What am I gaining in my life? I start building my life with God, and that's why I am what I am today. And somebody run up on you, an old friend, and say, what's wrong with you? You seem different. Yes, I changed my life. I got off the road that was going downward and found me a road that's leading up to heaven. I got a real friend now that I can trust. His name is Jesus. I can trust him. He's not going to say he's my friend and do behind my back. It's not going to happen. See? Every time we try to substitute something, we find out the substitute is never this. It just doesn't work. We always want to go back. You know, when we were coming up as kids, we always ate margarine. Butter was too expensive. You ate margarine. The first time you taste butter, you said, something's wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with the butter. He said, you've been eating a sub. It's got stuff missing out of it. Substitute never fill us. And then you get older when you can afford to buy butter, you wish to God you'd have stayed with margarine. Because now it's like, ooh. Days used to say when she get a piece of cake, Rose, you could taste the butter. You could taste the butter. So it tastes good for the moment. But it's never going to satisfy you. You say, I'll change it. This doctor said the other day, she said, Diet Coke, Diet Pop was the worst thing that ever happened to this country. They told you it was diet. Have you seen people go to the window and say, give me two Big Macs and some fries and a Diet Pop? What's that? I mean, you're not getting anything. But they feel somehow, some sense that, okay, if I have a diet pop with this, that'll kind of cut my calories down. What you're eating gonna kill you. So, but we don't want to hear that. When the government made all the fast food places start putting up calories, fat counts, and sodium and all this stuff, they asked the people, say, so how do you feel now that you got? He said, I don't care what they put up, I'm eating it. One man said, I'm hungry. When I get hungry, I don't care what's up on that board. I'm still going in and do it. That's the destructive part of man. He destroys himself. He can know it's wrong. He can know I shouldn't do this. He can know all of this and still do it. Still do it. What's wrong with you? You can say if you don't live right, if you don't serve God, the only place you can go is to hell, and heaven's over there, and hell's there too. Now, which place you going? Now, the scripture tells us how we're going to get to either one of them. And they still walk around like it don't really matter. I'm not going to worry about it. Somehow, man is deceived that hell's really not real. And because of that, he continues to take the same road. Again and again. Hey, yeah, okay. Now, I don't think I'm going to hell. I don't think that. Well, have you searched the word out to see? You got to check that. See if I'm putting the right things in my life that should be in there, that's strengthening me, that's helping me, that's sure tomorrow when you get up, it's still going to be good. Next week, it'll still be good. No matter what happens, it'll still be good. Because we're people that's connected to, I'm going to do good if everything's going my way. No. You got to be happy when it's not going your way. But if you choose him over everything else, I guarantee you, your life is going to be different. It's going to be better. I'm not going to put my, we oftentimes look at Hollywood and we say, well, you see what's going on in Hollywood? Man, he's got it made. He's got all this. He's got money. He's got this. And then we try to go after it in spite of the fact that we recognize they had a bad end. A bad end, it didn't turn out right. So if it don't turn out right, what are we going to do? We better find the thing that makes it work. You see a person in church that weighs about 110, 120 pounds. You see a person over here weighs 250 or 300. If they all eat the same thing, they all got the same problem. One don't show it, the other one does. Look at Damien, my friend Damien. Where is I don't see him this morning. Oh, okay. Damien, how old was Damien? 30? 34? Walking around skinny as a rail. Come on into church all the time, walking around, and he looks like he's the picture of health. But then one day, a week ago, he couldn't get out of bed. He was so sick, he couldn't walk. He was so sick. And what's wrong with him? Everybody right now thinks it's the flu, but it ain't just the flu going around. So when she came to my daughter and said, Wanda, Damien can't get out of the bed. He's real sick. And Wanda said, you better get him to the hospital. Got him up there. The doctor said, you got him here barely in time. He don't look like it. He found out that he was a diabetic, didn't even know he was one. And it went, and it was so high. How high was it? 700 sugar count. Doctor said, you got him here just in time. You would think, ain't nothing wrong with this man. He's doing good. Now what happens? They come back, and they kind of get depressed because now I got to start watching everything I eat. You should have done that before. Then you could still have some of that stuff within reasoning. And Bianca said, well, he just eats snacks all the time. He don't really eat. Are any of you in here just snack all the time? Don't eat. Damien is a good example. The worst thing you don't want to do to a black man is fix him where he can't eat. It's a bad situation. It's true. It's like, I can't eat. You know what I mean? A lot of things going on, but I can't eat. And they'll tell you, any day I stop eating, I'm out of this world. And then you'll hear this. I don't care how full I am, I'm eating that cake. You say, are you full? Yeah, but I'm eating that cake. See, you got to come to a point in your life. We don't want discipline. Walking with God means I got to discipline myself. There are things I cannot do. There are things I must realize that are not good for me. Now, the things that God told man not to do, understand this, that he knew certain things wasn't good for you. He tried to keep us away from it. And what do we want? We want that. I want that. That's good. See, look at your life this morning and say, you know what? I need to stop for a moment, take a look at my life, see where I'm at. How do my relationship register with God? Is it in a good place? You got to ask yourself that. Am I more concerned about my relationship with God than I am another person? That should be number one. You know, once you get things right with you and God, everything else will roll out for you. He'll give you that. He said, first seek the kingdom of heaven and all its righteousness. And he said, then I will just give you everything else. You don't even have to worry about it. Instead, we go after the things that we worry about. He said, you know what? I'm not gaining anything. How many people in our society right today work 2 or 3 jobs and tell you, I don't know where the money is? Because they're trying to satisfy something. So if I keep spending money, if I keep doing this, look, I feel better. Pleasure will not benefit you spiritually at all. The pleasures of this world If I get caught up in it, it's only temporary. It's not going to last. You're going to find yourself in a terrible fix. And after a while, I said, well, I've done everything. I tried everything. I've done this and done that, and I'm still unhappy. Go to the right person. Go to him. And you'll find out, boy, this is a great life. I'm loving this. It's working for me. You can do it. This morning, you came to this church, no doubt. And yeah, I'll go out here. I don't know if it's going to do any good, but I'll go on to church. Or else, we're out somewhere where we shouldn't be. We're married, and you think you need to change in wives. It ain't the wife. What you need is God. And then here comes some crooked woman walking down the street. Says she's got a body, man. Your wife had one too till you messed it up with babies. That's right. Deal with that. My husband used to come and say to me, Rose, people say I don't look like I even have 7 kids. I said, you should have told them you didn't. I had them. You ain't going to stay the same. And you know what I don't get about these men? They're looking for somebody that's got this fine body. Yours ain't fine. What about what you look like? You know, age takes a toll on all of us. You're not going to keep, I looked at Jack LaLanne before he died. He had muscles. They were hanging muscles. Don't last for a while. Who wants a hanging muscle? What good is it? So you're not going to stay the same. Wives change, husbands change. Whatever you got when you was young, hold on to it as long as you can because it's on its way out. It's on its way out. And then we get upset about it, and we're getting cosmetic surgery, and we got this pulled up, and this pulled back, and this over here, and that over there. Honey, you're not going to win that. It's part of life, and we have to make the best of it. They say the old saying about black people, well, honey, black don't crack, but it hangs. Yes. So don't think you're okay. Yeah. Keep getting older. You'll be looking for stuff and wonder where it went. It went south a long time ago. You want to get things right between you and God that you can accept whatever stage of your life you're in. That's right. Whatever stage you're in. I'm not trying to be my daughters. One's 55, one's 54, and one's 45, and I'm not trying to be them. I'm Sister Rose. They said, Mom, you going to wear that back to church? Yes. How long you been wearing it? It don't matter. All that stuff go with youth. I'm about comfort. That's what I'm about. Yes. I have to deal with what I got left. See? I used to wear 4-inch heels. Oh, my God. I got shoes, 4 inches. Now I look at the closet and say, wow, you ain't going with me. That's not happening. It comes a time that we have to realize you just can't keep walking in stilts, and they're unhealthy for you anyway. But at the time, I didn't care. Loved them. When it comes to a place in your life, I'm almost at the end. But you know what? I got a good end. I told my kids, I said, the last years of my life, however many years I may have left in this world, I want to leave an example to every person that I ever ministered to or crossed paths with, that you can say there's a way to do it and quit making excuses why you can't. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. So this morning, I say to everybody that's here, and you're sitting out there, and you want to be like Jenny, and you want to be like Bob over here, and you want to be like this, want to be like that. Don't waste your time. Thank God for who you are. Appreciate who you are. Let's take a look. Life can be beautiful. It'll never be beautiful if you're trying to put God on the outside and trying to become what somebody else is. The plastic surgeons thing that's going on in the country amounts up to multi-billions of dollars. what was that, Kenny Rogers, I think, that had his eyes lifted, and he looks like he's scared all the time. They won't come back down. We're supposed to do this. We're supposed to do that for surprises. He's surprised every day. Because I'm trying to hold on to something that is not possible. Let's deal with it. Give ourselves to God. Say, Lord, you know what? I'm going to quit worrying about how much I can build for me in this life. What are you building for you in the other world? He said, set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth, because it's temporary anyway. Everything that's a substitute is temporary. It will not last. It will not benefit you. You will be dissatisfied. So our musicians, I'm asking you to come forward. And if people in the audience this morning saying, Sister Rose, I got everything that you say. I got it. I'm trying my best to be this person or that person. Who was that had 30-something plastic surgeons? Plastic surgeries. Trying to look like somebody. By the time they got through with her, she looked like a dummy. Everything that she tried to get on with, I think it was Angelina, she wanted her lips. Her lips looked like big, fat rubber ducks. Why would you want it? Why? Or else I'm going to, they got some of the whites now, has been going on for a while, they want larger lips. Honey, if God gave you some lines, be happy. And black people, some of them is too big. You need to cut them down some. Keep it. By the time Michael Jackson died, he was a monster. It's sad. Nice looking young man at the beginning. But man is never satisfied with who he is. He wants to be different. He wants to be like you. I want to be like, no. Just enjoy life. Enjoy your life. See? So I'm going to quit trying to fix everything. God is the fixer up of everything that's in our life. Let him fix it. You don't know how to do it anyway. See? I want you to think about it this morning and say, I need to go up for prayer because I'm all messed up. And if you messed up, you know you are. Well, I wouldn't say I was messed up, got a little issue. You got problems. And you're still telling yourself, it ain't that bad, it's that bad. Sister Rose will tell you that it's that bad. So while our musicians are singing and playing, if you're here this morning and you just want prayer that I can go forward, that I can be all that God wants me to be, that I can quit worrying about other people and be concerned about my relationship with me and God. I'm quit going after things that perish, things that are temporary. I need permanence in my life, and you can have it. Would you please stand to your feet? And while they're singing and playing, if you want prayer, we want you to come forward.